play is not a distraction from abundance. Play is a part of abundance training. Hello, hi, and welcome to another session of Spirit Tea and Talk. Thank you so much for being here. Looking forward to this session. So I did today's session a bit differently. Normally, I come, I sit down, I pull while I'm here, and then we figure out the messages we're going to go along. But I'm trying something different. With the way my neurospiciness works, I'm trying to figure out modes of operation that make things a bit clearer for me. So I have jotted down notes today. So I had pre-planned the episode. I've jotted down notes, which I will be looking at over here. And I am actually really excited to get into this topic of conversation. So we ain't going to do too much more talking. We're going to get straight into it. Spirit is here. Got my tea. Let's talk. So this weekend, it was my friend's birthday. And she, I'm laughing before I've even gotten into it. She decided she wanted us to all get dressed up as inflatable cows and gallivant around London, dressed as inflatable cows. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that happened. Insert evidence right here. When she initially dropped us the message, it was like, oh, yeah, this is what we're doing. I was like, surely she's joking. She was not joking. She fully meant it. She was fully serious. And my thing is, it's your birthday. You get what you want. So if you want me to dress up as an inflatable cow, then by George, I'm dressing up as an inflatable cow. So I'm not going to pretend, that I was like, yeah, we're going to be cows. I was side-eyeing all up until the day. I was like, are we really going to do this? Like, what the heck? It's cold. It's just like March. How are we going to get, like, just so many questions. I can't even start putting out the questions right now. But so many questions was running through my mind, like, and I'm not even going to sit here and be like, I really was pressed about the being the cow per se. I wasn't that pressed about being the cow. I've dressed up as sillier. That's the truth. I've dressed up as sillier. Being like, from age 16 through my 20s, some of the things I've done, I'm a silly Billy, okay? And Billy be doing silly shit. So that was, like, the actual dressing up as a cow part wasn't the part that was getting my back up against the wall. It was just more so all the logistics around it. I was just overthinking it, and I was like, oh, God, this is just going to be, how are we going to manage this one? How are we going to get around? How are we going to fit the faces? Like, all of the how. And it was like, girl, no, just say moo and put on the cow suit and keep moving. So, put on a cow suit, a bunch of us, and we gallivanted the streets of London, dressed up as inflatable cows. And what I found so magical about it, after I got over all of my questioning and just said, we're just going with it. Just do it, right? Everything was fine, first of all. But we had so much fun. We laughed so much. And we had so much fun. But more than that, we brought so much joy to literally everyone we passed. Like, the amount of people that were stopping us on the roads, taking pictures, taking videos, come to talk to us, little kids, grown-ups, like, the joy was infectious. And we had a ball. We were laughing, smiling, cracking jokes all night. And that joy then reverberated and was being passed on to everyone around us. I thought that was, like, so amazing, right? I felt like for those few hours, we acted as like walking blessings to everyone we met, because I can say, all of us are so busy adulting. Sometimes we forget to make time for joy, or we don't prioritize joy, prioritize play. And so as I was like thinking about that, because even when I posted it on socials, the amount of people that was messaging me, just like having a laugh, it made me happy. It's like, I'm glad that I could use lot joy. I'm glad that I could bring joy, even if for one moment in the in the shit show that can be life sometimes, yeah, I'm glad that we can all have a moment to laugh and kiki. So yeah, it got me thinking about just play as an act of prayer and as an act of healing and as an act of devotion, right? It's something I started ruminating on. And I think because as well right now, again, we're in Lent, we're in Ramadan, there is that collective conscious effort to like have a devotional practice of sacrifice, of prayer, of fasting. And it feels like there's this collective seriousness, which is great, that collective seriousness and reflection. But I started thinking of the question, how does joy and fun and play and silliness and childlike wonder fit into it all? Have we forgotten, or not have we forgotten, do we realize do we realize that the joy and the silliness and the childlike wonder and the ridiculous of certain things that may be, and ridiculous in a good way, not in a bad way, right? Have we forgotten that these can constitute as acts of holiness as well? Have we forgotten that to be childlike is to be holy? So that's what got me thinking, and that's what I wanted to like delve into today. There is, I think, such importance, yeah, in like laughing with friends, dancing for no reason, dressing up as an inflatable cow, and looking at those acts of just like running around, having fun, catching joy with both hands wide open, yeah, as a way of communing with the divine, as a way of interacting with spirit in a life that tries to force us to be serious all of the time. I feel like it's really important. So, looking at play as prayer and what that means and what that looks like in real life is what I'm trying to do today. So, let's get into it. Cool. So, the first thing that came up when I was looking into this, the first thing that came up was looking at our current relationship to play, right now, yeah, bring these over here. It feels like a lot of us are in healing mode, that we're always. So right now, yeah, it feels like a lot of us are in healing mode. And that's great. I'm in healing mode. But I feel like when I think of play as prayer and I think of healing, we've kind of defaulted to this. Healing is just about how we journal and doing the shadow work and sitting in silence and sitting in solitude and carrying and working through all of the heavy shit. Being deeply introspective, sitting cross-legged, meditating, going into solitude. And I feel like we've become so good at going into solitude. I know I have. I like a solitude. Everyone knows me. I like to be by myself. That's why it was good to be out this weekend, because haven't really been going anywhere. So it was nice to be out with friends. You know what I'm saying? But we've become so good. We've become so good at going in solitude, sitting with our feelings, being still. And I want to speak to that being still thing. It just feels like I kind of have to sit down myself now, because the amount of times I've said to me and said to others, like, you just got to be still and sit with it and sit with your feelings. And while that is true, sometimes the healing comes from not being still. Sometimes the healing comes from acting, making movements. And just go. Just go play. Go run around. Go run around in the field. Do some jumping jacks. Have some fun, right? So, I've just looked up the definition of the word prayer so we can be informed. Prayer is the act of communicating with a higher power to express thoughts, feelings, gratitude, and requests. It serves as a personal, intimate dialogue designed to build a relationship with the divine, seek guidance, or find comfort. It is used for worship, praise, thanksgiving, and it is fundamental to many faiths as a way to align one's will with God's and to experience spiritual connections. Right? So when it's like being taught to pray, it's like, okay, you sit down, hands together, eyes up to the sky, you just pray, right? Or bow your head down and pray. Cool. But if prayer is about giving gratitude, if prayer is about strengthening your connection to the divine, what is more beautiful than joy? When we say, like, when you think of the divine, when you think of God, when you think of spirit, what is more in line with that energy than joy? Nothing, right? So why do we neglect play and joy in our prayer practice, in our acts of prayer, in our acts of moving in prayerful ways? We need to stop doing that. Healing is beautiful, but we need to make sure we're finding the joy in healing. Like, as we're going through our healing journeys and doing our healing work, we need to also make sure that we're not neglecting joy in what that looks like. We're not neglecting, we're not putting joy on the back burner, because joy is part of the medicine. Joy is part of the medicine that we need to heal. Healing, we're doing all this work, we're sitting, we're meditating, we're journaling, we're introspecting, okay? Joy and play is part of the medicine. That's what, literally, yeah, that's exactly what it said to me. Joy is part of the medicine. Have you ever noticed, yeah, like when you're having so much fun and like your shoulders just drop, you're just like literally in your body, not even thinking about it, just naturally, just in your body. You're just laughing so hard and you're just in the moment, just having a good time, and you feel light and you feel like all of your cares and concerns are just way over there, because in that moment you're just having a good time. That in itself, it feels like there's a kind of prayer. That's what that is. That is a connection. There's a kind of connection that's hard to put into words that embodies. It's like you're fully in your body, you're fully present in that moment. You're not performing for anyone, you're just living your life, you're just alive. And that is like the ultimate show of that connection to spirit, to the divine in that moment, right? And for a lot of us, yeah, because I feel like people watch this and be like, no, I have fun, I let myself have fun, and okay, good, I love that for you, keep it up, okay? There's another sect of us who, it feels like the only times we let ourselves have fun, or we let ourselves feel joy, or we let ourselves let go, is when we are on holiday, or when we've been drinking, so we're in altered mind states, or when we're just trying to hide from real life. And the thing that Spirit is saying here is it's like the lightness and the joy and the fun acts, the act of fun, it shouldn't be a once a year occasion. It shouldn't be something that you need to, you can only achieve when you're in an altered mind state. No, it's something that needs to form a part of your everyday existence, in your everyday life. It needs to be part of your daily toolkit. Joy needs to be part of your daily toolkit, not just, a once a year treat that you get, like, when you get some time off. We need to find the joy, find the moments of joy, find the moments of play, find the childlike energy in our day-to-day lives, and allow yourself, even if it's just a moment, allow yourself a moment of joy every single day as you're navigating all the other shit. You got to find time to allow yourself moments of joy. You got to. The thing that I feel like holds us back from tapping into our play energy and being able to have fun and really just live a life of fun, live a life of play. The thing I feel like is holding us back, and the thing that I've pulled that's come out here, is this incessant need to be the strong one, because that's the character we used to be playing. oh, I've got to be strong. I've got to sacrifice in order to make sure that the bills are paid, to make sure everyone's okay, to make sure things are all aligned, you know, because if I don't do it, who's going to do it? And it's like, I have to be the responsible one, because if I'm not responsible, things won't get done or things will fall apart. And so I don't have time to be silly. I don't have time to have fun. I don't have time to play. I'll play when everything is sorted out. And that time never comes. I can't afford to relax, because if I relax or if I go and have fun, how can I be having fun when I've got all of this stuff to do and there's so much stuff going on? The stuff is still going to be there, babes. Okay. Oh, well, I need to hustle. I need to grind. And okay, cool. But you also need to have fun. You also need to enjoy your life, because this life, now on, right? And then I feel like we sacrifice our lightness because we're trying to take care of the family, the bills, we're the one that everyone leans on. But where is the space for play? Play is part of being spiritual. And the reason I believe that, yeah, is like, okay, if you think back to when you were a child, when you were a kid, yeah, and your intuition was the loudest. Your intuition was the loudest. You didn't need whole rituals. You didn't need to second guess or overthink or nothing, because you're you. All you know to do, it was your first time experience and everything. So anything you wanted to do, you just went and did it. And it wasn't until we started being told, don't do that, that we started, you know what I'm saying? Like, that started changing the way we move and the way we approach things. Before you get told, don't do that, you go and do it. You go and do it. You don't think too much of it. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, you might see a skipping rope. Your body tells you, I want to skip rope. You don't think too much about it. You just grab the rope, you start skipping rope. You listen to your body, you did what your body wants to do. Your body might say, I want to run. That's how kids just get the zoomies. Oh, I want to run, they start running around. Okay, cool. Oh, I want to dance. You don't think about it too tough. You just start dancing. Your body tells you what to do and you do it. You know? You just followed whatever nudge you had. And so now we're grown-ups and we've lost that childlike wonder. So when our body gives us a nudge or we feel like we want to do something, instead of listening to that first initial intuition and just doing it, it now becomes a whole thing, you know? Oh, I want to dance. Yeah, but I'm in public. I probably shouldn't dance, you know? I probably shouldn't, that's a bit too silly. Okay, cool. Oh, I want to go outside. Yeah, but you got to be productive. Is that going to be the most productive use of your time? You got work to do. Okay, I want to paint. Oh yeah, what's the point? I'm not very good at painting. I'm not an artist. So you don't. Break out the mold. What is your inner child telling you to do? Do that. Be childish, be playful, be silly. Obviously, there's time and place for everything. I'm not saying do that all the time and don't have any moments of seriousness. But find time to just be childish, to just have fun, to just play, to just, oh, my inner child is saying, I want to do this. My body's saying, I want to do this. Just do it. Don't second guess it. Just do it. Play and fun and joy is one of the ways Spirit speaks to us. Don't ignore the call. Don't ignore the call. The reason why Spirit creates play and why play is so important, why play matters so much, right? If we zoom out of it, life comes in cycles, right? There are seasons where we have to grind. There are seasons where we're going through grief. There are seasons where we're building and having to be responsible and holding so much responsibility. There's space for all those seasons, but if we never make space for a season or even make moments in all of the other seasons of joy, silliness, like just being alive, it feels like the cycle is incomplete. Like the cycle doesn't ever actually fully... I'm thinking of the Wheel of Fortune because that's one of the cards that came out, right? If you spin the wheel, I feel like the wheel will continuously get stuck. The wheel will continuously get stuck because you've got a stopgap here that needs to be filled, and that gap needs to be filled with moments of joy and silliness and just having a good bloody time. What just came to my mind, yeah, is it's important to make yourself feel good on purpose or to allow yourself feel good on purpose. I feel like there's so many things in life that make us feel bad, and we make so much space to delve into the bad stuff, and why did that make us feel bad, and how do I heal from the bad stuff and all that stuff. Okay, cool, but how are we actively trying or doing the things to feel good and feel fully good And that's why I was saying about it's not about like going out and getting drunk and I'm getting blasted. Because I know me. Listen, I enjoy a good little tipple, yeah? But I know the next day I'm gonna feel like bum crack. It's counterproductive. So that's not the joy I'm talking about. Not the manufactured joy that is manufactured by substances. That's not real joy. I'm talking about sober joy, right? That you make a moment. If your joy comes from using dancing, set aside 10 minutes to do a little dance. If it comes from painting, but you maybe feel like, oh, I'm not a good artist, point to myself, still do it. Set aside 10 minutes, set aside 30 minutes, sit down, paint. Oh, you like to read a book, you like to escape into a fantasy world, set aside 30 minutes, sit down, read that book, escape into the fantasy world. You want to go do some cartwheels outside, go outside, do the cartwheels. But just do the things and make the action to feel good on purpose. Feed your soul on purpose. Yeah. In doing that, and why it's so important and why our spirits crave us to feel the joy and to play and to have fun so much, in like surrounding yourself with joy, spending time with friends, having fun, doing the playful things, right? We get ideas, we get more creative. We get a taste of what we want our actual lives to be like. And so we move past the thing of just healing from the past and move towards building the future that we want and we desire. And that's why I said that joy and play is part of the medicine that we need for healing. Because healing things from the past is all good and well, but we need to know what we're trying to build towards in the future. And joy helps us do that, to build a joyful and good future. So we're not always having to heal. Bro, if you're always having to heal all the time, I know like healing is a journey, but goddamn, like, I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like if you're always having to heal all of the time and all you're doing is healing, things heal at a point. If you go and get surgery, yeah, and you get stitches, couple of weeks, it would have healed. So if your healing journey never ends, I got a question, babe. What are you doing? What are you doing? I feel like we have to, at some point, move past this like, oh, we're just healing and we're working towards the future. We're working towards what's next, right? So it's like, okay, now I've healed, then what happens? If you spent all the time healing, but you've not made plans for what comes after, then you get stuck. Then you kind of feel broken and then you go backwards, and that's where you have to go and start healing all over again. So if you're finding joy and you're making space for joy and that joy is feeding your spirit, feeding your soul and helping you cultivate what the future looks like, by the time you've hit that healed point from whatever particular thing that you're healing, because mind you, we have to heal different parts of ourselves. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not all linear. I understand that, right? But because of the joy you've allowed in, when you've healed that one particular part, instead of having to re-heal that part, you already know, all right, I've already had the idea. Spirit's put the creation notion in me, so I know what comes next. I know what I need to create in my life next. And then you move towards that. It's not just being playful and being silly. It's not just being cute and just doing things because you're quirky. It's actually fertilizing the ground for your future. So a lot of us, we're always praying for more, right? We're praying for more money, more blessings, more opportunity. But even when the good things come, they don't fully land because we've forgotten how to enjoy ourselves. We've forgotten how to enjoy things. So when the things come, it's like that inner side of you that's always like striving for more healing, striving for more blessings, striving for more, and hasn't learned to sit, enjoy, and just enjoy things. And sit, enjoy, and just be playful, yeah? Even when those things come, you're still thinking of what next? Oh, I'm still behind, and what next, and what next, and what next? But we have to learn how to enjoy what we've got. There's nothing wrong in wanting more. There's nothing wrong in striving for more and wanting to achieve more. But don't let that want and desire for more hinder you from enjoying what you've got. So you're never actually happy. So what are you striving for? Striving is all good and well if you know you're going to be enjoying the journey along the way. But if you're just striving to strive and hustling to hustle, everyday hustle, you're always going to feel like you're behind. You're always going to feel like it's not enough. You're always going to feel like you can't rest. You're always going to feel like play is something that you're not entitled to do. And that's just incorrect. Play is not a distraction from abundance. Play is a part of abundance training. Play is a part of abundance training. You have to choose your playground wisely. We've acknowledged the importance of play. But what Spirit is saying is play, but pick your playground wisely. If every time you have fun with something or someone or something, you leave or following it, you feel smaller or emptier or less than yourself, you're not having fun, you're abandoning yourself. That's self-abandonment, and you need to stop that. Cut the shit, okay? It says here, the soul would have no rainbow if the eyes didn't have tears. The soul would have no rainbow if the eyes didn't have tears. The way I interpret that to mean joy and grief are not enemies. They're not enemies. I would call them siblings. Maybe cousins. Maybe cousins, right? Sometimes when life is hard and you're heartbroken, there's so much going on. The world is on fire, as we know. There's so much shit going on all of the time. We see so much poverty and sadness and just horrible stuff around us, yeah? You can feel guilty when you're laughing. You can feel guilty that you're having fun because others aren't having fun. But the shitness of the world, yeah? The tears that you may cry because things are tough and grief may exist right now, they don't disqualify your joy. They don't disqualify your joy. Just like joy does not erase your tears. It doesn't erase your tears. You know what I mean? Like the two can and do have to coexist to move forward. And this still goes right back to what we've been talking about with the healing of it all. You know what I'm saying? You're allowed to be grieve and find something ridiculous to laugh about. You're allowed to be healing and dance through the healing journey. Both of those things can live in you at the same time. For rainbows to exist, yeah, they need the rain and the sun for them to exist. So just think of that. Just think of that. Spirit is saying, yeah, don't use fun or your desire to have fun and bring the fun into your healing journey and bring the fun into your growth journey. Don't use that as a reason to stay somewhere that your soul is literally begging you to leave and saying, get out of here. Don't stay here. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't use that as a reason to ignore the danger signs. If it's not brightening up your world, for real, if it doesn't feel safe, clean, and like honest joy, do yourself a favor and leave that space and find a space that aligns with the joy that you seek. Play will wake your heart up. It wakes your heart back up. Play allows us to notice the little cups of joy that are being presented to us. Notice the cups and moments of pleasure and pleasantness and happiness and just all the things you should be grateful for, all of the things that should make us smile, that will make us smile, that Spirit is presenting to us. Play helps us notice them, see them, receive them, and appreciate them. It gives the energy a fresh energy. It just reinvigorates. There's a reinvigoration energy that we can receive when allowing ourselves to play, right? And allowing yourself to play, if it's like stepping into a new path where the main requirement right now is not perfection, but it's willingness. It's the willingness to be silly. It's the willingness to try something that you're not necessarily good at, but it's a new experience. You know what I'm saying? It's the willingness to experience joy without feeling like you have to earn it first. Because you don't have to earn it. Joy is your right. We're all allowed to and supposed to feel joy. Do not let pain be your only story. Do not let struggle be your only story. Do not let hustle be your only story. Choose to be alive over choosing to be in this space of continued seriousness all of the time that doesn't make you feel good. What I took from my cow shenanigans this weekend, it felt like our willingness to be silly and our willingness to just be a bit ridiculous gave people permission to smile. It gave people permission to play and to remember, or to give, it gave them a moment to be allowed to enjoy themselves, even if just for a second. Yeah. Sometimes our joy can be of literal service to other people, of service to yourself. Laughter can be a ministry. Laughter is a ministry, right? And in playing and having fun and chasing joy and living a joyful life. And this is not necessarily about, oh, you have to film and record and post it and everyone must see what you're doing. But just by activating joy within yourself and just living your truth in your day-to-day, everyday life, yeah? That's how joy becomes a prayer that spills out, not just for you, but for everyone around you. So, the takeaway and the final message there is knowing that Spirit doesn't just meet us, yeah, when we are in tears, when we're on the floor crying, when we're in heavy journaling mode, heavy introspection, heavy reflection mode, right? Spirit also meets us in the laughter, in the movement, in the random costumes, in the moments of kikiing, in the moments of communication where we're howling with laughter, in the moments of joy that we create in our day-to-day lives. Spirit meets us in those moments. So the takeaway for this week is to remember, right, that you are allowed to live a life that holds space for both devotion and delight. You are allowed to you're allowed a life that holds space for both devotion and delight. What is the one act of play as prayer that you want to observe this week? Think about it and do it. And know that in doing it, Spirit is smiling down at you, within you, and lapping it up. And that little act of joy is going to be a catalyst for so much great things to come. And that is us for this week. Thank you for being here. And I hope we all have an amazing, playful, fun, joyous week ahead. I'm out. Peace. Under your skin, I'll say it again. Close enough. Who gave you permission to be this perfect? I think you should go ahead and thank your mama for me.